Shane, what's up, man?
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. You went out as well today? Same
Dinner.
routine? Golf and...
No, I did the bike riding today.
Good.
Tomorrow, final four should do. Tomorrow.
What's your, like...
Take off at 6 Sunday. So I think I got to leave for the airport.
This is 6.
The flights in around 7 a.m.
Today your eyes are a little bit brighter than the last fight. That one I saw, that one was,
I'm good, man. I thought it was perfect. I had a late call last night, and I slept good after that. Today I'm finally on time zone, and I'll be leaving tomorrow.
No, come on, man. Once you're back home, I think everything will just...
We're coming back very soon.
I'm waiting for you to let me know. I'm sure once you get back home, everything will be fine.
Yeah, I think we're, listen, we've had a great trip. Entire team, everybody in the hotel, just been A+. Sorry to leave, I'll like to stay on the
I think the hotels now are quite tight.
Good. It was good football.
Yeah,
Final round.
They're quite exhausted.
Well,
Final round. Sunday round.
yeah. The championship round. They certainly don't give that.
We've had a few different games. Both good.
What do they do when they get off again?
The plan is for them to, because when we first brought them in, it was a very, they had to recall a lot of the stuff members from different locations. They were going through a process where they let go of some of them. So then, recall. So, figuring out how this goes, that's
Yeah.
I guess they reconsidered maybe when this is a travel corridor.
Yeah, they want us to have a good time. It's been good experience for us.
So most of them right now, hotel staff are actually staying in the same hotel. So I see them every day. I ask how they're doing. What's their travel arrangements? Not a strange thing is hotel occupants, they do AE, so be it both in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, it's actually quite high because of this domestic tourism that's happening. So everyone that has been staying at home now wants to get out, go and use the facilities.
Yes. How you doing, man?
Good, and you?
Good.
I think some of them. What's up?
What's up, man? Yeah. Good.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Is he yet?
They've done a great job.
He's comfortable. And
I'm sure the same thing is in Vegas. A lot of hospitality stuff.
It's a different stuff every day. Population.
I was wondering what sort of industries are seeing. I think people in the content industry,
Well, the problem is that you can't create it.
yeah, a lot of content creators have that challenge.
Yeah, it's already in the box. You can't, I guess it's fine.
You recut the content.
You got it. You can't be filming this stuff. You got to, especially this like California, press. You can do it, but it's not like it was. There's no filming. Very little. So I think the businesses are doing really well. People that lean and have a good internet. It's 360. I think it's good.
Does Christian's fast
Service.
We saw like Domino's over there. Domino's being is up 100%.
So it's like home base construction.
People stand up and picking up. So I think businesses like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
That consumer
Little by little, right? So keep so much better.
it's good.
Agora?
Obviously, Netflix is doing both. But they're not a content creator. They're a content. I mean, they are, but maybe they've got. They're content creators. They're all content creation.
I mean, it's super busy.
Yeah, so I've been reading like the numbers those when it comes to domestic consumption and stuff like that. Like, I mean, companies are they
It's just super busy.
O Coutinho tá falando essa semana inteira, cara. Ele é maluco.
Taking up time off, right? Like get their time off. Some people, you how are we going to do it? Then we got to make sure that we're like really thinking about how people are staffed. I don't want anyone working 9 minutes. I don't know whether he's going to get the U.S. getting home from the fun. He'll have to quarantine.
Isso que não vai.
Just because he's the
Eu comecei a pedalar no podcast.
Yeah, and it's probably the
Eu
easiest.
fiquei pensando, vou pôr.
I mean, versus like trying to get something done.
Vai, que melhorou, sei lá, na terceira semana.
Maybe weeks.
Não cobri a bicicleta e depois estourei o tornozelo. Acho que foi igual hoje, não. É normal, né?
Right. Well, but let's keep that option. How do you get into like you can get people. We're gonna do like in Las Vegas. He's getting on a breeder. Yeah, you already got a horse. You got 2 of them. Crazy, man. Do you have that? Oh, nice.
Because we stay in an air conditioning compound, so it's all really run around. The summer, because we let them out. I mean, I let them out smoking around 7, 8 p.m. So then the day that just come quicker.
Cara, eu fui contar com uns caras. Aí só pra trabalho. Eu vou segunda-feira pra levar pra mim. Fazer uma carnaval. Então, normalmente você pode dirigir, né? Só que por causa da piscina, só tô validando calado.
Não, mas o cara hoje estava falando que é o outro lado da pista. Não está no centro, não. Very, very cool. I think most of the
Que chato, hein? Se eu avisasse com antecedência, né? Se avisasse com antecedência, até pra gente. Vocês perdeu o troféu.
I don't know what I was thinking. You know, like you're gonna spell one. I don't know who we're supposed to call. Just went like down and like besides their training. He doesn't want to do it.
Come on. I got a Maggie cake on my. Thank you.
They did a good job of giving you a full time.
Making cake.
That's crazy.
I think you just miss the goal. She just misses the end. It's usually a couple.
It's near the colon.
Could be allergy.
I brought them before that I left Can we get a picture of Thank you for them.
Yeah, some of these guys. Yeah. Some of these guys just look average guys. Yeah. You're on the graph. Yeah. Oh, I know. We talk about it all the time, especially like lighter weight, their normal clothes. Some guys, they don't have tattoos. There's nothing. Like it's different.
Já passei as fotos para ele. Só chegamos bem, cara. You know, they just opened the boots today.
How far do you get from right here? Oh, fuck. That must be tough. You're so close. So close. I love it. It's not safe. Yeah, it's safe. Oh, you're fine.
I like talking to
For us, it's I know there's like I want to have my my wife would give up it's like a 2 or 3 hour
I guess I'm fucking.
Yeah, it's like you don't catch it.
Cuidado.
Emails, things that happen.
Those come in and those come back into his room. Pretty
easy, right? It's not about to be like free.
Where did you stay at the same place? I'm like, I don't want to DM.
I wonder what happened to all these emails. I mean, I guess you just, I don't understand what happened. Remember all the emails for that?
Yeah, that's Steve, yes, look in the meter.
It was not like 28. Never. Whatever.
What
They're just
what
on the
friends?
front row of the media.
Friends. What a. I'm really like friends, deixa rolando ali. tries to scaffold from over here. One leg straight, hold on.
Welcome to the Flash Forum here on UFC Fight Island for UFC Fight Night. Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. UFC President Dana White has taken to the stage. So time now to face off our athletes. Britain's kick off at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And we start with the heavyweights. Carlos Boy Felipe versus Sergey the Polar Bear Spivak. Moving along to the lightweights. Next up, Darby Tasmanian Devil Hamosh versus Arman Sarukian. Next up, it's the bantamweights, Malcolm X Gordon and Amir the Prince Albazi. Staying with 135 pounds, next up, Brett the Pikey Johns and Monte. Lightweights next, Irish Joe Duffy and Joel Alvarez.
He looks like a nice guy, and then he bumps into you. You get mouthy with him, and he kills you. No, you're an asshole. Yeah, not you. Me too. Yeah, me too. I think he looks like someone's brother.
Got a catchweight bout next between Grant KJD Dawson and Nad Narimani. Our featured prelim is at 2:05, Roman Delidze and Hadis Ibragimov. We move on to the main card, which begins at 8 p.m. Eastern exclusively on ESPN Plus, and we launch into it in the flyweight division with number 4 ranked Alexandre Cannibal Pantoja and number 7 ranked Askar Bullet Askarov.
Did they get that close without the mask?
Yeah,
It's a bit
it's it always like some people just
Women's
stand there and
flyweights
some guys
next, and it's
act
Ariane,
like
Queen of Violence
So it's
Lipsky
always
against Luana Carolina.
Yeah. One guy kissed another and when they were facing off in the before the fight. He like kissed
He
her.
kissed her? Out of love or-
He went ape shit.
out of
Yeah.
love or hate?
Yeah. Both.
You never know.
No, but it seems like a massive thing from the whole.
It does, because you can't
I'm here
see.
to
Yeah.
fight you, but I'm scared to be German.
Exactly.
Next up, it's the strikers, the lights at 155, Mark Bone Crusher Jacasey and Raphael Ataman Fiziv. Moving along to the co-main, it's a big one at 185 pounds with the number 6 ranked Jack the Joker Hermansen and the former title challenger Kelvin Gastelum.
بدون قحفية فاهمين تعرف انه لا.
And finally, the main event, the rematch for the UFC flyweight title between Davison Dustagera Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez.
He fits.
He does.
That's the face-offs done. Thank you very much.
في امل ايش كمان؟ في امل ايش؟ لماذا تدخل وياك؟ انا معاك. شو لا تدخل وياي؟ والله ما بدخل. 2.3 انا انت. على واحد. ما تعمل لي هاي البورتفوليو في ميتينجز في كل شيء 477 برو غرفه هاي لازم يحلوها بعد
40 minutes of talking and
بعد
research.
477 كلنا مش على بعض كلنا تعجب بالعكس في وقت we were very close yet so far
زين look.
اي ورقه سلاح بالضبط
They need this guy. These two. Okay, especially this guy. This guy.
اي
is
واحد
not gonna leave.
اي واحد اللي عليه
كلمت already. هذا حبيت تتكلم عن بلابي؟ هذا باقي هذا بس هذه ما عندك واحد عراقي نور انا focusing here
لا الواحده اللي عليها 17
71 it's here
اي واحده
لا شو
كلها مع بعض كومبينيشن يا اخي انا بكره ما بستنى
لا you know
في
لما
سبعة. يكون في 7 يا اما ثلاث ماتشات اول مره اربع هذا خمسه بدأ اثنين طلعنا كاش اوت ما فرجونا خسرنا
I never catch up.
قبل امبارح قبل امبارح
We're gonna break this in
7
half.
قبل امبارح 7 اول فايت ربحت ثاني واحده خسرت ماتم خلص يعني تبطل متحمس صح
But low risk, high reward. Tomorrow, high risk, high reward. So we have هذا 1 هذا 1 واحد مشكل
ما بعرف ليش نطلع هذا جيب اثنين ضوء واحد مشكل
Can't tell you what to do. Jen, we'll see you later. Take care. Enjoy.
I'll be there.
He's not with me yet.
He's not even 5 days ago. He's getting good reviews.
I have no idea. He's been listening to something for the past
No, there
weeks.
were elections in
Metallica? How long are these episodes?
Spice Girls.
Now that I did.
What's up, gang?
Weren't expecting to get put to work like that.
Everybody was fired up today, man. I like it. I like it.
It's good. Talking about this main event, this rematch, Joseph told us that you put the rematch together pretty quickly after the first fight. What was it? Was it the way the fight ended with the headbutt involved? Was it the weight miss? What was it that you were like, hey, we got to do this one right
It
now?
was both. It was everything. That fight was a no-brainer to redo. We had to redo it. So here we are. Now everything's perfect. So no excuses. No controversy. Hopefully we answer all the questions tomorrow night.
You were kind of joking that you were nervous about Devison's weight, before all the COVID stuff.
I was checking in with them all day today, and he was on point. I think we've talked about this 100 times. Is that this is a hard business to run when things are normal, and then you add all the stuff that's going on right now. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to do. But we're getting through it. We're doing it.
For Joseph, I think he's 35 at this point, man. He's been around the company for such a long time. Do you feel like this is kind of his last shot? Like it's now?
Yeah, I'm sure he does too. This is Benavidez is one of those guys. Like no matter who comes in contact with that guy, whether it's people at the PI, other fighters that train down there, everybody likes Joe Benavidez. He's a great guy. He's a hard worker. There's never any bullshit with him. It's all, he's a straightforward kid. He's a good kid, so it's cool to see him get another opportunity at this point in his career. I'm happy for him.
I want to ask you about the co-main event, Kelvin Gastelum. Does it feel like kind of a crossroads fight for him? I mean, he had a fight of the year, one of the greatest all-time fights ever.
He always does.
Kind of a flat performance after that. Does it feel like this is a crossroads goal?
I don't know, man. That kid's always exciting. He's always in fun fights, and I think tomorrow night's going to be the same too. I think that's a really fun fight. He's always in it. He's always right there. So I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think it's a crossroads fight though. This is a kid that win, lose, or draw tomorrow night will still be in the top 10. Will still always be exciting and can pull out a win with one punch.
I want to ask you about a guy that fought, I guess, like 48 hours ago at this point. Khamzat Chimaev is around the hotel saying he's cutting weight, trying to get another fight on this upcoming fight card before Fight Island's over. Is that?
Yeah, and listen, he asked me to that night. I said, why not? Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Are you trying to find somebody for him?
Yeah, we are.
Is he done, or are you still looking for somebody?
As far as I know, we're still looking. Is Mick in here? Mick can never get out of here fast enough, can he? He's working on something for him right now. We'll see what we can figure out.
Speaking of leaving, we heard you're leaving Fight Island early. You're not staying through the whole run?
Did what?
Are you leaving early?
Yeah, I was always, my birthday's coming up, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I wanted to ask you, seeing the news back home in Vegas, it seems like, you mentioned you are a little bit worried. I've seen the headlines the last few days that I hadn't been seeing. It seems really bad. How serious are you? I mean, is there a possibility that maybe August doesn't happen at the Apex?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm always a worst case scenario guy. I'm always looking at what, the possibilities are. I was thinking this 2 months ago, not just now. But, you ask any of my guys, I'll tell you, I've been saying, you think this is just going away? People are like, the heat, when the heat comes. Well, there's a lot of places out there right now that are hot that are still dealing with this thing. So I don't see what the heat has to do with it. And I don't know. So, like I said, nobody seems to be an expert on this thing, but, I have some backup plans. It's not ideal. It's not what I want to do. I want to stay in Vegas. I think we've proved, not only in Vegas, but in other parts of the world and other parts of the country, we can pull this off safely and not hurt anybody. And hopefully we have that opportunity to do that in our hometown, where it would be a lot safer for all of us. So I hope that's the case. We'll see.
Last question for me. Colby Covington is taking to social media, is posting a contract that he had with Tyron Woodley that was supposed to happen in mid-August. He says Tyron's not taking it. Can you update us on that situation, if that fight's going to happen, when it might happen?
It's a fight we're working on, Listen, Woodley said he wanted to fight him, so, Woodley's been talking about fighting Colby Covington since, Colby fought Usman. So it is true that that Colby signed the deal and he's ready to go. So just waiting on Woodley.
Hey, Darren.
Yep.
Just jumping on the back of that fight seems to be so hard to make. It's like every time you guys try and make it, one of them accuses the other one of not taking it. What has been the hold-up? Has it always...
Listen, I always tell you guys, listen, I'm always trying to make the fights that, you know, that should be made or people want to see. And people can say whatever they want publicly, but, you know, behind the scenes, it's another story. And I can't speak honestly about what's going on. I haven't been involved in that. I've been here. But we're trying to make Woodley versus Covington. And Covington is definitely in.
I think Woodley said he would do it in September, so would you be happy to put it on, or do you really want Covington on that August date?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you right now.
Henry Cejudo's been firing off at basically anyone near his weight division, Alex Volkanovski. Have you guys spoken since he retired, and is he potentially interested in coming back?
We haven't thought. Cejudo's retired. I'm not. I told you guys last time, these guys that retire, I don't even think about them again. I'm already moving on to the, you know, I'm looking at tomorrow night, I'm looking at, you know, what's next, and all of a sudden I'm not thinking about those guys.
I think you said to Kevin Iona you have a backup plan in America if Vegas is taken off the table, right?
Say that again?
Do you have a backup place you could go in the States?
Yes.
Would you, knowing what we have here in Abu Dhabi, would you just try and get your currently scheduled events in America done and then just come over here for the foreseeable future, or would you try and stay in America?
Yeah, no, we're going to do a lot of fights over here. I mean, if you look at how many international fights we do a year, you know, we do those here in Abu Dhabi, but, you know, we have to do some of these fights in the States. It's been tough to, this is quite a flight.
Is there, with the partnership you guys have with Abu Dhabi, is there ever a limit you could see that they'll let you stay here for one time? Like, we've been here for a month, because you could potentially be here for 2 months.
Just never leave. We all become Abu Dhabi citizens for the next couple of years. I don't know. Listen, these guys are great. They're incredible to work with. I literally couldn't say enough good things about this partnership for the last more than a decade. There's not one thing. I'd love to be critical about some of the things here and say, you know what? I think they could do this better. There's nothing they can do better. Literally everything has been perfect. When you look at what we're dealing with, the circumstances that are going on, this couldn't be better. There's nowhere else you're going to go anywhere where, you know, the restaurants are the way that they are here, the hotels, the service, you know, it's just not possible. These guys are the best at what they do. Hospitality, building things that weren't here to accommodate the events that they're doing. It's just, nobody does it like Abu Dhabi.
Last one from me. When we get back to the States, you've got Holly Holm versus Aldana scheduled, but there's only like 2 fights been announced for that card. Do you have the other fights booked, or is that something you've got to go home and work on?
Yeah. I told you guys, as soon as I go home, I get home on like Sunday, I'm going to be working on, you know, all of I get home Sunday, by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have everything done until October. I'll have all the way up till October done. Maybe even November.
You talk about Cejudo that you're not thinking of his house and not fighting anymore. What about John Jones? He announced the same thing, but it hasn't been.
John Jones doesn't want to fight?
Yeah, so
I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet.
You don't know if you consider doing an interim title?
I haven't even thought about it.
Speaking of titles, you mentioned that Gilbert Burns is next for Kamaru Usman. Jorge Masvidal is campaigning for an immediate rematch with Vulcan. After he proved that he's a big draw, is that something you would consider doing now?
Gilbert's next. Yeah.
You were talking about the fights and that you have another plan if you have to change and not do them at the Apex. What about the Contender Series? Do you have a plan B?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great question. No, I don't have plan B for that. I mean, that's going to be a tough one too. If we have to do the Contender Series somewhere, I mean, we're talking some of the plans. This isn't done and this isn't guaranteed, but some of the things that I'm working on right now, we would do the Contender Series for 5 straight weeks. Then I have some other stuff going on that I'm planning right now. And then we'd have another 5 weeks of the Contender Series. So, I mean, that would be hard to pull off somewhere. I mean, we'd literally have to go stay somewhere for 5 weeks to pull that off. So, who knows? I don't know, man. at the end of the day, you know that we get shit done and we make it happen. So we'll figure it out.
But are you thinking about the Contender Series here in Abu Dhabi or in America somewhere there?
About doing the Contenders, yeah. I mean, listen, if I have to go stay somewhere for 5 weeks and put on fights for 5 weeks, Abu Dhabi would be a great place to do it. But like I said, it's a long trip to, you know, I don't know the answer to that yet, but we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Mr. White, when you think about how a fighter's nationality can help further develop that territory, how has someone like Munir Laziz come along at the ideal opportunity when you've got UFC Arabia and the partnership with Abu Dhabi? How is it, as someone like Munir Laziz, who's just beaten Al-Assad, has he come along at the ideal opportunity when you've got this partnership with Abu Dhabi?
Translate from English to English.
Listen, I don't know how it helps. The partnership with Abu Dhabi is awesome either way. But you know, when you have some local talent that does well, I mean, not just does well. I mean, that kid was a 4-1 underdog, and he went in there against a fucking beast, and has a fight like the fight that they fought that night. It's very good for the region, you know. From what I'm told, that kid is very popular here. He's got a lot of support here in the region, and when you go on and you put on a performance like that as a 4-1 underdog, it's good for the region. It's good for the people who live here love that. So, you know, I wouldn't say that it does anything for the partnership, but it also shows that we've been here for over a decade, and they're starting to create some talent here. They're, you know, where it will be really big here is when a homegrown, you know, guy from Abu Dhabi or Dubai starts to fight and win and can possibly be a world champion someday. That's when you really, when you'll really see this region go off. I mean, look what Conor McGregor did for Europe, you know. If you look at the time that we spent and the money that we spent in Australia, now we have a champion from Australia and New Zealand. And the list goes on in different markets that we've been to.
What did you say to Laziz after the fight?
I just went over and said congratulations. You know, it's just, you know, the story is just mind-boggling. I mean, I'm sure you heard the story that night of my son's birthday party, and took a bunch of his friends to dinner, and this kid that's sitting next to me, Adam, is just terrorizing me about this guy, because they live out here, and him and his family live out here. And he's like, I'm telling you, this guy's awesome. You need him. They love him in the area. It'll be big. It'll be this. I said, all right, kid, I want to do it. So I literally called Sean Shelby and told him to make the fight. And then to be sitting there, the first couple minutes, you know, we tell the story of how a 17-year-old kid made this fight, and then the first 2 seconds, I was like, oh shit. You know? But it worked out. You know?
Are you going to take any more recommendations from it?
I might take another record. Yeah, that kid's a rock star right now. He's loving it. If you go on his Instagram, it's all about the fight and him making the fight. So it was pretty cool. It's a cool story, and the fight was unbelievable.
Dana, with the COVID situation, a lot of the restrictions, sometimes from the state, sometimes from the federal, being handed down. Is there ever dialogue between you businesses and the governor on the measures?
Are we in contact with the governor?
Yeah, does he talk to you and other businesses ideas of what should be put in place?
No, I don't think he doesn't talk to us about you know, other businesses. It's just we talk to him about our business, and you know.
So he does take feedback.
Beg him to not shut it down. Yeah.
Does it seem like it would to do a draconian 10 people max? Does that make sense? Versus like every situation is not equal.
I agree. The thing that scares me is, you know, obviously we've proved that we can do this. If you look at how you know, from my staff to the corners to the fighters, to the media. I mean, we've done it all the right way. We've made sure that everybody's safe. I'm just worried if the mentality becomes, if I shut these guys down, I have to shut everybody down, kind of thing. That's more what I'm worried about than anything. I mean, there's no question that we can do this, and we should be able to operate out of the Apex for the rest of however long we want to. But I just hope that's going to be the case.
Then you said that UFC has backup plan for August, but outside of Abu Dhabi, is there any other third option for the UFC, like any other country right now that could have UFC events outside of Abu Dhabi and US?
No. How long have you been here? When did you get here?
At the beginning of the month.
Why would I go anywhere else? Why would I even think about going anywhere else other than Abu Dhabi?
Maybe if you can do events in US in August, are you coming back right now to Abu Dhabi? Like,
I don't know yet. It's just going to depend on what happens. Listen, we're definitely coming back to Abu Dhabi. Yes, I mean that's guaranteed. I said when I came here, everybody had this idea that this Fight Island thing was 3 or 4 fights and that was a wrap. It's not true. We're here to stay. As far as trying to find another venue outside of the United States, ain't happening. Why would I go anywhere other than Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi might end up becoming the fight capital of the world. Seriously, when you think about it. It's definitely not Vegas right now.
And my other question is, Costa said that the fight against Adesanya is taking so long to have a done deal that he told to the UFC that he would be open to fight for an interim title. Does that make sense to you? Is this true? He told the UFC that he would fight another guy?
What's that? No, they're going to fight, and that fight's going to happen.
Yeah, just because he said that he told the UFC that he would like to fight for an interim title.
Well, the fight took so long to get ready because he got hurt. That's why the fight's taking so long. I mean, that fight was supposed to happen a long time ago, but he got hurt, so we've been waiting for him to get healed. He's better now, and obviously the world is batshit nuts right now, so we're getting everything lined up, but that fight's going to happen. There's no need to do any other fights. Good?
Dave?
Yeah? Thank you, guys.
Oh.
Hey, Dana. I just had a last question.
Yeah.
Given what you just said, it's probably not the best time, but would you have any updates for the UFC in Paris in 2021?
Yeah, no. Bad time. Thank you.
Eu espero que sim, será? Eita, verdade.